Dear students, let us study about one more concept called as the long distance transport of water. Long distance transport of water. Okay, and here uh, before going to understand the process, okay, we have studied that in schools one simple experiment to demonstrate the uh, ascent of sap, right? Ascent of sap. That is, that experiment name is called as balsam plant experiment. Okay, balsam plant experiment. Okay, and here in this experiment, we are going to place a twig. Okay, a plant twig of balsam plant. It shows the formation of the white flowers. It shows the formation of white flowers. Okay, and we are going to place this cut twig in a colored water. Colored water means what here? And in water we can add some amount of or few drops of stain here, stain or dye, say for example like saffron in. Okay, and we are going to allow it for some time, and after some time we can observe in the cut portion, okay, or in the stem of the plant we observe some red colored lines moving in the stem. Okay, and after that we can cut this stem portion, and we can observe it under the microscope. Okay, and it shows that some colored part. Okay, when we take a transfer section of the stem, it shows the color part, and based on this we can identify that the path of water movement or the ascent of sap, it takes place through the vascular tissue called as the xylem. Okay, and based on this we can tell that the xylem is the uh, water conducting tissue, right? Okay, and what is the objective of studying this concept? Long distance transport of water. Okay, because in plants, we observe the uh, different processes like diffusion, then osmosis, as well as the active transport, right? And here when we consider the diffusion, okay, it is a slow process, okay, regarding the movement of water in the plant, right? Diffusion is a slow process. It accounts for only short distance movement. Okay, it accounts for only short distance movement, right? Say for example, movement of molecules across a typical plant cell. Okay, movement of molecules across a typical plant cell. Okay, about 50 micrometers. Okay, typical plant cell, it is about the size here, right? About 50 micrometers. Okay, to pass through one cell it will take about 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds. And then uh, at this rate, okay, if the movement of the molecule occurs, and we can question that how many years it would take for the movement of molecules over a distance of 1 meter. Okay, and to cross only 50 micrometers it will take 2.5 seconds, and to move about move uh, at a distance of 1 meter it will take many years, right? Okay, and if the plant is too tall, okay, in because the flowering plants will be sometimes more than 120 meters. Okay, in this situation it will become through the diffusion or osmosis or active transport, the movement of molecules will become difficult, right? But there should be some mechanism to move the molecules to such a heights. Okay, and here uh, long distance transport systems. Okay, and here to uh, move the molecules, some long distance transport system will be there in the plant. Okay, long system transport systems are necessary to move substances faster across long distances, right? And here one important terminology is there. Okay, bulk flow, or it is also called as mass flow. Okay, what is the meaning of this one? Movement of substances in bulk. Okay, or we can mention it as n mass. Okay, movement of substances in bulk or n mass from one point to another due to pressure differences between 2 points. Okay, due to pressure differences between 2 points is called as mass flow, or it is also called as the bulk flow. Okay, bulk flow. And remember, water, minerals, okay, water, then minerals and food are generally moved by a mass flow system, right? And here in mass flow, okay, in next point, in mass flow, substances substances, it means in solution or in suspension, okay, in mass flow, substances in solution or in suspension are swept along at the same pace as in a flowing river. Okay, we are going to compare the one location of the river here, right? But in diffusion, what will happen here? We are going to diffusion. We are going to compare the diffusion. Okay, how diffusion occurs? Okay, in case of diffusion, different substances move independently. Okay, different substances move independently depending on their concentration gradient. Okay, depending on their concentration gradient. Okay, that is from higher concentration to the lower concentration, right? Okay, and one more thing is we are going to give how the bulk flow is achieved in the plant, right? Bulk flow is achieved either through a positive hydrostatic pressure gradient. Okay, we mention it as the positive hydrostatic pressure gradient. Okay, and here we can understand. Okay, what is the sentence is there? What sentence is there? Bulk flow is achieved either through a positive hydrostatic pressure gradient, right? And here, to understand how the hydrostatic pressure gradient develops in a plant. Okay, and he has given one example, a garden hose. Okay, garden hose means what here? And this is one equipment, okay, which is used to put or spray the water to the plants. Okay, we are going to use one jar here. Okay, and while putting the water to the plant, what we are going to do here? We are going to mm, uh, hold that jar in a uh, position such that it's spray, okay, spraying equipment, it will be towards the ground only, right? And whatever the water content or water present in that jar, it will flow to the it will be added to the plant. Okay, and here in that jar, what we can understand here, there is the development of the positive hydrostatic pressure, right? And even in plants, there is the development of negative hydrostatic pressure. Okay, negative hydrostatic pressure gradient, right? And for this one also we can give one example. What is the example given here? Suction through a straw. Okay, this is the one example, negative hydrostatic pressure, right? And I will give you one example. While we are drinking the soft drinks, right, we are going to use the straw. Okay, it means while drinking, we are going to pull the uh, soft drink whatever present in the bottle with the help of straw. At that situation, we are going to pull that one. Okay, then only that cold drink will come into our mouth. Okay, like that, in the plants, there is the development of even negative hydrostatic pressure gradient, right? Negative hydrostatic pressure gradient. Okay, both will develop in the plants. Okay, what is that one? Positive hydrostatic pressure as well as the negative hydrostatic pressure, right? Okay, then one more point is what is that one? Bulk movement of substances. Okay, bulk movement of substances, bulk movement of substances over a uh, long distance. Okay, uh, over a long distances or in long distance through the conducting tissues like xylem and phloem is called as translocation, right? Finally, how we are going to define the term translocation here? The bulk movement of substances, okay, uh, in long distance through the conducting tissues. Okay, conducting tissues like xylem and phloem is called as translocation. Okay, conducting tissues, and remember they are also called as the vascular tissues, vascular tissues, right? And here one more concept is uh, in case of the conducting tissues. Okay, in higher plants, they will be having a highly specialized vascular tissues. Okay, and we call them as the xylem and phloem. Okay, they will be present in roots and as well as in stems as well as in leaves, right? And what is the main function of xylem here? Xylem is associated with the translocation of xylem is associated with the translocation of mainly water, then mineral salts, and in addition to this one, it also contains some organic nitrogen and hormones. Okay, and remember, okay, xylem is associated with the translocation of mainly water, then mineral nutrients, and even some organic nitrogen and hormones. Okay, from roots to the aerial parts of the plants, right? Okay, then what is the function of the phloem? Okay, the phloem translocates. Okay, the phloem translocates a variety of organic and inorganic solutes. Okay, the phloem translocates a variety of organic and inorganic solutes mainly from the leaves to other parts of the plant. Okay, mainly from the leaves means what here? The food is synthesized in the leaves. Okay, and from that region to other parts of the plant. Okay, and remember, we are going to use the two important terms here. Okay, in a plant, one is the source and another one is the sink. Okay, source means what here? Source is a region in which the food is manufactured. Okay, say for example leaves. Okay, sink means what here? Sink is the region in which the food is consumed or utilized. Okay, so we call it as the source and sink relationship. And we use the terms called as photosynthesizing region and non-photosynthesizing region. Okay, photosynthesizing region is the leaf and non-photosynthesizing region is the other part of the plant body except the leaf. Okay, the food will move to all the parts of the plant. Okay, including the roots. Okay, uh, so we have studied about the function of xylem as well as the function of phloem, and even what the concept explains here, how the long distance transport of water takes place, right? Okay, and let us move on to one more concept called as the absorption of water by the plants. Okay, absorption of water by the plants, right? And here we know that which will absorb the water. Okay, in a flowering plant, which part of the plant will absorb the water? Mainly the root, right? Okay, the root absorb most of the water that will goes into the plants, right? Okay, and one more thing is where this water will be present. Okay, it means we are going to apply water to the soil. Okay, because water will be present in the soil. Okay, and not on the leaves, right? And here uh, the responsibility. Okay, the responsibility of absorption of water and minerals is more specifically the function of the root hairs, right? Who will do this function? The root hairs, right? The responsibility of the absorption of water and minerals is more specifically the function of the root hairs that are present in millions. Okay, they will minute hair like structures. Okay, they are present in terms of millions at the tips of the roots, right? And here one more point, root hairs increase the surface area for absorption. Okay, root hairs will absorb increase the surface area for absorption, right? And how the absorption of water and minerals occurs here? Absorption of water and minerals occurs by diffusion. Okay, diffusion through millions of root hairs present at the tips. Okay, at the root tips, right? Okay, and here uh, the absorption of water. Okay, the absorption of water is moved deeper into root layers by two pathways, right? uh, it means once water is absorbed by the root hairs, it can move deeper into root layers by two distinct pathways. Okay, what are those two distinct pathways? One is called as the apoplast and another one is called as the symplast. Apoplast as well as the symplast, right? And here in the given diagram, okay, you can understand the structure of the root here. Okay, and here normally uh, the root hairs, okay, they will emerge out from the epidermal cells of the root. Okay, epidermal cells of the root, okay, they are unicellular root hairs. It is nothing but they are the elongations of the epidermal cells only, right? And here in the given diagram you can observe, okay, the plant cell vacuole will be there, then cellulosic cell wall, and they have shown one epidermal cell and it is extended to form the root hair. Okay, and here from the root hair water and mineral ions are absorbed. Water as well as the mineral ions are absorbed. Okay, and outside what you will find, the soil particles. Okay, soil particles, and in between the soil particles the water will be there. Okay, and plants will absorb which type of water here. Okay, and capillary water, the water present in between the soil particles is called as the capillary water, right? And remember, this point is important for the competitive examination. Okay, the plants will absorb capillary water which is present in between the soil particles, right? Okay, and finally, mm, what is there, the absorption of water, okay, from the roots, it occurs by two important methods or pathways. One is called as the apoplastic pathway and another one is called as the symplastic pathway, right? Okay, symplastic pathway. Okay, and let us study about these two pathways in the next YouTube video, right? Okay, thank you.